Hello, Sagittarius. It's Maggie, the Irish Gypsy, bringing you your November 2024 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the second half of November here, and this is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. I hope everyone's well. Thanks for being here, taking the time to watch these videos. It's a joy to make them. You are part of that, so thank you. For those of you who like, share, and subscribe and support my channel, you also have my gratitude. So, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, this is for you, cross-watchers. If you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian, this video is relevant for you as well. Of course, it's a general reading, so it might resonate a little differently for everyone who watches. Take what resonates for you, leave the rest. If you know your other signs, you can watch those videos as well. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. It can be helpful in additional insight and perspective into your personal situation. If something really hits home for you, if it really resonates with you, and you'd like to take a deeper look at something and reach out for a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, we are just starting to enter the holiday seasons, and personal readings do make great gifts. Or if you simply just like the reading style, if you're interested, you can email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video or click on the word more, and you'll see that information, contact information there as well. I would be just delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond and get back to you quickly the same day or within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a lot of different reading choices. I cover all areas of life, different types, lengths, costs, styles, spreads. There's a little bit of something in there for everyone, and I'm quite focused and diligent on the timely scheduling of personal readings as well, because this is what I do full time. It's all that I do. So if you're interested, please email me. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what the second half of November looks like for you. And for those of you who will be celebrating Thanksgiving later this month, I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and blessed holiday. So, Sagittarius, we begin with the Chariot and the Star. Despite whatever challenges, obstacles may be in front of you on the path to your goals, you are well able to achieve them. The key here is staying focused on what your goals are, focused on what you want to achieve, and any obstacles or challenges, or perhaps there's a lot of moving parts to it. It's just all about harnessing all of those and kind of focusing them in one direction, because the Chariot represents success through perseverance, determination, willpower, staying focused on your goals, making sure that everything you do is kind of oriented towards that. The Star is a card of renewal and hope and trust and faith that as long as you keep doing your part and putting one foot in front of the other, you're going to reach your goals. Very, very able to do that. It also feels like you may be going through a period of probably movement. Now, this is a general reading, so the intensity will vary, but it feels like a lot of you are going through a period of growth and movement. It does have its challenges, but you're well able to push through that and achieve what you want. Next, we have the Seven of Coins or Pentacles, the Seven of Earth. This is a card of evaluation, of taking stock, of taking inventory of that which you have already put into something. Working hard to get the harvest. The harvest is pretty decent. It's not a 10 yet. So it's kind of a look at the effort you've put into something and asking yourself, does the end justify the means? Have I gotten what I put in out of it? Have I gotten more? Do I need to make changes? Do I need to take what I can and move on? With Judgment. Judgment represents being at a significant crossroads, Sagittarius. It feels like you may be evaluating or reevaluating how you do something. And it could be how you physically do something, or how your belief system or ideology drives you to do something a certain way. And here there's a period of reevaluation of, do I need to be continuing to do things this way? It feels like you're in a period of transition and movement forward. And you may be looking at everything or there's quite a strong indication here with the Seven of Coins and Judgment, Sagittarius, that it's time to kind of reevaluate and take a look at perhaps some of the things that you need to let go of, including sometimes perspectives or the way of looking at something. There may be things that aren't working for you anymore, and you need to kind of let go of them and shift a perspective in order to continue moving forward with success. We have the Four of Swords here, which is a card that speaks about taking a step back for rest, recuperation, recovery. It can be a card of feeling, kind of exhausted from the efforts you've put into something and needing to kind of take a step back and perhaps, again, reevaluate and seek out some different perspective, maybe some guidance. With the Six of Coins, with how much you're putting into something. The Six of Coins is about giving and receiving. It can be advice to be more open to giving and receiving, and it might be that here as well. It might be that you've been giving more than you've been taking, more than you've been getting back, and maybe it's time to reevaluate what your perspective or ideology is. Do I really owe this person or this situation or this job or this relationship all of my effort when I'm not getting, an equitable amount back for my efforts? It can also represent the opposite, am I taking more than I'm giving? But probably not that for most of you, because with the Four of Swords, it's a card of kind of going, I'm really tired with the amount of effort that I've been putting into certain things in my life. And this one area of my life is moving forward, or has the potential to move forward in spite of the challenges and obstacles. But you know what? As I move forward, I want to lighten the load a bit. So this whole reading kind of has this energy, Sagittarius, of reevaluating particularly what your perspective and your ideology is on what you want, where you want to get to, what you're hoping to achieve. And this can be in work and career, this can be in relationships, and kind of taking a look at where you're putting your energy and asking yourself, am I spending my energy wisely? It's not just about money. You can take money for a good example. How am I spending my energy? If your energy equated into dollars with a budget, how are you spending yourself? Where are you putting yourself? Are you leaving enough back for yourself? The indication is that perhaps you're expending more than you're actually getting back, and there's a sense of reevaluation on perhaps streamlining things and maybe cutting out things that are no longer working for you. Old belief systems, old patterns, old habits, old ways of looking at things in order to move forward. From the bottom of the deck, representing the overall focus or primary focus, is the Two of Wands, which represents, of course, standing at a crossroads and asking yourself, what direction do I go in here? It feels like shifting directions, or perhaps for some of you, not exactly shifting directions, but again, I feel this sense of lightening the load, right? Do I really owe this in these different areas? Or am I doing things because I feel obligated to because of something in my own head? All right, let's peel it back a little bit and take a look at that Two of Wands. The Fool. Starting a whole brand new path, a whole brand new cycle, a whole brand new chapter, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something different, or doing something in a different way. Perhaps looking at things from a different perspective. We have the Moon and the Sun as well. Again, I get the sense of wanting to streamline or lighten things. And that can be people, places, situations in your life that you've been giving to, and maybe in an uneven way, and kind of getting to the point where you're tired, you're exhausted, and you're asking yourself, what is actually driving me to give in these areas where I'm not giving back, where it's not like, well, I'm not talking about altruistic or charitable work here. I'm talking about devoting yourself to situations, people, places, situations that you should be getting back. You should be also feeling nurtured from, but you're not. Chariot and the Star. the Chariot again, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Wands. There's definitely an opportunity to move forward and succeed here. And you definitely have everything that you need to do this. It may be that some of you are getting a new and fresh perspective on what is required to continue to move forward and to continue to have success. And that success is linked with growth and expansion here. How to do more, how to look at a future with it not being, very narrow and limited, but about it getting better and kind of growing and expanding. And again, this can be in business, work, job. It can be in your relationship life. It can be in your own spiritual ideology about life as well. It feels like there's a new perspective on how you can move forward. And reevaluating, again, how you do things. Because judgment kind of is a card that implies the possibility and potential of forgiveness, redemption. And in order to do that, one has to self-examine, like the Seven of Coins does here. Self-examine and go, you know what, maybe the way that I've been doing something isn't the right way, or isn't the right way for me anymore. Maybe I need to shift my perspective and shift my, kind of tweak my belief system. Let's take a look at that. Justice with Judgment, 10 of Swords and 5 of Wands. So there's a sense here that there's been an issue, a challenge, a conflict of some kind, and it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth and around and around and around and around with nothing ever really changing. And it feels like it's now time to take a look at and accept the fact that you can't affect a different outcome within this conflict, that it feels like it's always going to be this thing, right? Whatever the conflict is, it might be a conflict in your job, in work, in the ideology of the company you work for. It might be in a relationship, a personal relationship of some kind, or something that you feel like you've put a lot of your energy into. But there's like just this ongoing circular petty, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And it may be time to kind of come to the challenging and for some of you perhaps painful realization, but acceptance that, you know what, that's it. It's done. It's at an end. It's either run its course or it's never going to be what I thought it was going to be, because I can't force an outcome, right? Justice tells us that as well. So again, a big kind of reevaluation period and going, you know what? I think it's time that I start focusing perhaps more on yourself. And I don't mean in a conceited sort of, arrogant, the world owes me, kind of energy, but, it's kind of reevaluating and going, why am I, giving so much of myself to these situations and finding myself standing at the bottom of an almost empty well and feeling completely depleted? It's about perhaps taking a look at what you need to get away from in your life, not just the physical external things, but also maybe, limiting self-beliefs in your head that are keeping you kind of stuck in this loop when you need to break out of it. And taking responsibility also for the part that you've had to play in that continuing. 4 of Swords, 6 of Coins. The 4 of Swords again, which kind of speaks to how tired a lot of you might be feeling. I mean, here you are giving, and you're exhausted. Times 2, because we have the 4 of Swords twice. The 7 of Wands in reverse. So in the upright position, it represents fighting on, continuing to defend that which you have a lot invested in. But here, it's a sense of, with the 6 of Swords and the Star again, that something has to be left behind, right? In the 6 of Swords, this is a card of healing, and it's healing because the worst is behind you. You may not be to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're headed in the right direction. It's a healing energy. But in order to do that, We have to, we have to find a way to leave the bulk, at least, of what is limiting us or hurting us or bogging us down behind us so that we can move further and further away from it. It's a card of healing. You can look at physical healing. There's an issue, there's a problem, and it needs to be solved through surgery, let's say. And none of us really like the surgery. None of us really like to leave things behind. But the Six of Swords is a card of, okay, the surgery's done and over, and now comes the healing period, which has its up and down times too, particularly in the initial phases, but it's step by step, you're moving in the right direction. It feels quite clear here that there's a path shift here, because what you want, whether it's a specific goal or perhaps a specific sort of life, as long as you do what you need to do to achieve that, you're well able to do it, despite the obstacles and challenges, which you'll grow from anyway. But again, it feels like a shift in perspective of taking responsibility for the part that you've had to play in it, but also taking responsibility to implement the changes. This whole reading, Sagittarius, has kind of the feel of somebody who's realized that they can actually take charge of their own life, take charge of their own success, and own that through the actions and choices and decisions they make, even if some of those choices and decisions are challenging. So, final guidance, advice, feedback from Spirit for Sagittarius for the second half of November. The Wheel of Fortune, divine timing and orchestration. Be open to change, and when it comes, roll with it. We have Judgment again. Judgment is a call to reevaluate so that we can change things that need to be changed and move forward in a different way. The World, the last major arcana card. That Fool is the first, the World is the last. This is a card of graduation, completion, achievement, and moving on to the next level. The Empress, it's a card of, in a certain sense, this is a card of self-care as well. It's a card of being valued, being treated like you're valued, taking care of yourself, taking better care of yourself, even indulging in indulgences. And be careful to, when at all possible, or make the changes you need to surround yourself or put yourself in people, places, and situations that make you feel valued and make you feel cared for. And the situations that don't, that you can't cut out completely, minimize or stay as uninvolved as possible, because you don't need that, right? The Empress would not run herself ragged and find herself standing in the bottom of an empty well, female or male, right? Nor would she surround herself with people and situations that would encourage her to do so. So, good advice, Sagittarius. I'm going to leave it there. Those are your messages, Sagittarius, for the second half of November 2024. And for those of you for whom they hit home and resonated, I hope it was helpful, gave you a bit of insight or food for thought moving forward. Again, if it did, and you'd like to pull the curtain back on it and perhaps take a deeper look and reach out for a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, or you simply resonate with a reading style, you can email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video for that contact information. Click on the word more and you'll see that there. I would be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the next set of readings. Until then, stay well, be safe. Hope to see you back here again soon. And I hope to hear from some of you as well. And again, happy Thanksgiving to those of you who will be celebrating it. Take care. Bye-bye.